You see what I'm saying? Rose got herself too wrapped up into Cam, and unfortunately, it sounds like she even had sex with him. Yikes. Okay. And this is what happens when you do that too quickly. That's why you can't just be sleeping around with any old body. This is why you can't be so thirsty for a man. This is why you can't be so thirsty for love. You'll end up in situations like this. Why are you over this man's house? He did not choose you on this process. He don't want you. He was about to choose Sahara. He was gonna choose Sahara actually. So it's like, out of all the men in the world, like, why are you stuck on these two guys that are not it? Like, I don't know. I don't understand. What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Mini Thoughts with Dr. T. We are reviewing Ready to Love. You know, it's me, your favorite late show review. We don't have this posted Saturday, not Sunday, not even Monday. Okay, we coming to you on a Tuesday. All right, that's how we do it. It really would have been Wednesday, truth be told, but for y'all, I decided to stay up to 1 a.m. last night so I could watch the show and take my notes. It was between Ready to Love and Monday Night Football. You see what I'm saying? And football is always gonna win. So after the game, I still came through for y'all. All right. So we are going to get started. This is the reunion. So show's over. A lot of times, y'all, these reunions don't be given, but this one was okay. It was cool. We actually learned a lot of shocking stuff. Rose came through for us. But we'll get started. So Tommy asked Angie in the opening scene, and I was like, "Oh, we rehashing this again." When was the last time that she bust windows out of someone's car? Um, and so he rehashed all that, and she said she's moved on from that, and it was 5 years ago. Probably would have been about 5 years ago. So I was like, "But wait," because I thought this was something she done in a previous lifetime. I had to go see how old Angie was, and I forgot to do that. So let me check real quick. Let me see. Angie Angie's 39, guys. So that means Angie was busting windows out of cars uh as of the age of 34. Um I didn't know we were still doing that in our 30s, okay? I thought that was like, I'm gonna give you graduating college probably 22 to about 26, all right? To be doing wild stuff like that, but not in your 30s, sis. Not you still on that, not as of 5 years ago. So I was concerned that Angie has not moved on from her ways. Okay. I thought she was going to say, oh, that was something I did in my 20s. I was young. Look, okay. But anyway, Angie deflects. She said the better question is, what did they do to cause her to do that? It's not about her busting out windows. It's about what the guys was doing. We focus on the wrong thing. Okay, we focus on the wrong thing over here, and it's just like I said, y'all. This the thing, right? Don't ever let nobody see you sweat like that, especially not no man that you're not married to. No, and I get it in the 20s. I understand, but in your 30s, we gotta rise above. Okay, we gotta rise above. If you find out something he not doing right, just be up out of there. Okay? Peace sign all day and be up out. Don't let them see you sweat. Don't be showing up at jobs and doing the most and cussing out and don't do that. Just be out. You see what I'm saying? That's all you gotta ever do. Don't give nobody your energy. That's my biggest thing. Like you will never have my energy or see a drop of sweat. Okay. I'm just out. And I'm gonna be like, I found out XYZ. I'm sorry this didn't work out. You're a great person and I wish you the best, but it's not gonna work between me and you. And you be out, okay? Don't do too much. Don't do too much, okay? So Cam says he wanted to see Angie be accountable for her actions. So that's the part that was tripping him up. It wasn't so much about her busting out the windows, but the fact that she wasn't accountable. And I have to say that I do agree with Cam on this. I would have said, like I was saying a little bit earlier, I would have been like, that's something I did back in my 20s. Well, I guess that's a lie. I did that 5 years ago, but, I worked on myself and I realized that's probably not the best way to deal with situations. So now, if something arises, I would do XYZ. So that's probably what I would have wanted to hear Angie say, to know that she's truly past that. And I think that might have been what Kim was looking for too. And then Angie says, matter of fact, the issue is all men want a yes woman. And she's thinking all the men that were on the show just want a yes woman and that they want her to be softer. Um, and y'all, this is another, and not to keep harping on Angie, but this is another thing that I hear a lot. A lot of people that, this is not all, right? This is not all, but a lot of people that are type A, uber aggressive, over the top energy type people do this, right? They don't take accountability. And it's always a thing where, well, that's just how I am. That's just how I am. And that's just a thing that they can do. So they don't have to do the work. They don't have to take accountability for their actions because that's just me. That's just how I talk. That's just, and Angie is starting to come off like that type of person. Um, because think about it, y'all. If you, and this may be you, you know what I'm saying? And it's okay because we can always evolve and get better. We all have something that we need to work on. But it's like if you're a type of person where, if you know a person that they always have issues with relationships with people, never get along with siblings, always got something going with their parents, in and out of relationships, always falling out with friends. It's like it might be you, okay? It might just be you. And I think Angie needs to realize that. She's putting it on. Well, what about everything that people are doing to me and people always trying to, it might be you, Angie. Okay. Um, and then this is another thing, right? You gotta clock this. So men like Hussein and what's his name? Eddie. And that's another thing. Is this a tangent? This is a quick tangent. This is a tangent. I feel like production should have put the names of the people because I have forgotten. Okay. It's been months since we seen some of these people. Don't ever forget this show came on in February. Okay. Is it September? So I don't know. I always got to get on production at least one time in my reviews. So they definitely should have had the name tags. I couldn't remember his name. I had to go look it up. I couldn't remember the guy that got the 5 kids. I was forgetting everybody's name. But anyway, okay, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Okay, so, but yeah, like men like Hussein and Naeem, right? They'll tell you what you want to hear. So if you notice, they were very much like, "Oh, you're perfect. I love an aggressive woman. Oh, ain't nothing wrong with that." So men like that, they'll tell you everything's okay, but mind you, they don't want to be with you though, right? So everything's great and Eddie, "Oh, yeah, I mean, I like that, I like that." But Eddie didn't pick her. You see what I'm saying? They just talking. The person that, and again, I don't ride for Kim at all, but I do like that Kim was actually the only one of the guys that was calling her out like, "No, sis, it's not okay." You know what I mean? These are some of the things I see. Like, again, I'm not riding for Kim. Kim is problematic too. But in this situation, I did notice that he was the only one that was actually being real with her. And the other men were just trying to sugarcoat and acting like, "Oh, everything's good. We had great dates. Oh yeah." But in the end, they weren't trying to pick her any either, right? So they were just doing a lot of talking. Um, and in some ways, I almost feel like Kim and Angie are the same person. I feel like I never thought they were going to work, but I think that's why they butt heads so much because they're both so stubborn, so bullheaded. So this is how I am, and nobody gonna tell me. And I just think they're like the male and female version of each other. And then two, I think what Angie has to realize, I think she has it in her head that I'm either gonna be soft or I don't she probably doesn't call it hard, or I'm gonna stand up for myself, maybe. And it's like it's not a either or, and I think that's where she's getting tripped up. I think it and this is not the right term. This is not the right term. It's not what I mean to say, but it's just about being agreeable, I guess. Like for example, let's just say Angie comes home and her man, let's say Angie really wants to go to the movies or whatever. And let's say her man is like, babe, I'm tired. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't feel like going to the movies today. I feel like, I feel like Angie would be like, see, that's what I'm talking about. Forget you. I'm about to call my ex. Cause remember, her ex is her best friend. Don't ever forget. Forget you. I'm about to call my ex. I'm just about to go with him because I'm going to see it today because I want to see it today. So if you don't want to go, that's on you. Like, I feel like that's the type of energy Angie exudes, and it's just like it's not about being soft, it's just about being more compassionate, maybe is the word. Like, why can't you be like, "Oh, okay, babe, you tired today? Okay, what about tomorrow? What about this weekend? Okay, we'll go see it then. Alright, cool." And I think in Angie's mind, if she does something like that, she's losing or she's not standing up for herself or she's being too submissive or I think she's put all these, like, titles on things. And so I gotta have it my way. I gotta do it my way at all times. And if I'm not, then I'm being soft. I'm being submissive. I'm being a punk or something. I think that's kind of how she's seeing life through those that type of lens. Um, which the great Dr. Phil always says, how's it working for you? Okay. And if it's not working for you, you got to switch it up. So, but I'm feeling like when she came out and said that piece, that's what I got from that. And like I told y'all from the beginning, I just think Angie is going to have a really tough time finding a man because because of exactly what I said, I feel like it's always going to be a fight to the end. Like she doesn't know how to like just compromise, and it's okay. You don't got to win every argument, every battle. Like it's cool, you know. And then this was a bombshell too. She said that Khalil has actually been communicating with her more than any of the other guys. I don't know where in the world that came from. Um, and Khalil, you definitely are not ready. Okay, no, no, no. All right. So we pivot during the break. Rose out of nowhere was emotional and said she was supposed to show up on the show with someone um as a couple. And that's why she's so emotional. She was supposed to get her happy ending. And she also said she really liked two of the guys and is disappointed that they did her wrong in each of their own ways. And she starts to cry. And one of the ladies, I can't remember her name, comforted her and gave her a quick pep talk, like, no, girl, this what you gotta do. Don't let these men see you sweat. Okay? You gotta be savage. And she was like, all right, appreciate that. Um, this was a lot. And I'm not trying to be mean at all, and I could be completely wrong, but did y'all think Rose was on something? Like, I don't know, she just didn't seem it could maybe she was just it was just emotions. It seemed like she was inebriated a little bit, in my opinion. I was just like, I don't know. Did y'all notice that? It just she felt off. It didn't seem like the normal, like, assertive, um put together conservative roles that I'm used to. So like she might have had like an extra drink, like maybe one extra, or I don't know. But I was just like, what's going on here? That's weird. Um, so that happened behind the scenes. So then it was time for the next segment. And so Rose sits down, and we're going to talk about her and Hussein. So that was the first segment. So Rose felt played by Hussein, and how quick he dropped her after he heard that her baby father was incarcerated. She felt like he should have fought for her, like Kim fought for Sahara, and she also felt like he robbed her of her happy ending. Now, Hussein's side of it, Hussein says he has his process and has to be true to himself. And he couldn't get past the fact that she waited so long in the process to tell him. Um, and again, we already, reviewed this and hashed this out. But like I said, what I wanted to know, and I said this during my review, I'm not sure what these people are talking about on the phone via text. There's no way I wouldn't have known that. So I was still wanting to know, like, Hussein, did you directly ask her and she lied? Did she just not bring it up? Was it a thing of a lie of omission? Did you just not really even go down that path and just expected her to just say it? So I still don't think we got to the bottom of that. I think Hussein really wanted her to just come out and offer that information. I'm still down the middle on this one. I feel like I don't know why or how that didn't come up. But then on the other side, and then like I understand Rose too. Like I don't even think about him. My son is 17. Like we don't talk. So maybe Rose would thought that the information wasn't important. Um, I don't know. I'm still torn down the middle. I don't feel like we got any more answers here. Um, and but then Rose dropped a bombshell when she said that Hussein was also locked up before, um, which was crazy. But he said it was and the other thing about this, who was it? And again, I can't remember the names, but the lady with the blonde short hair, was it her? But somebody was like, "Dang, Hussein, you was booked." No, no, it was Angie because Andrew was out there too. I thought that was hilarious. She's like, "Not you was booked." So that was a good kiki. So Rose, y'all, this it was kind of sad to see. I just don't know what was going on, but Rose kind of threw that out of nowhere, like, "Well, you was locked up too." So I'm thinking Hussein did a bid or something. They did like 10 years. But he was like, "Nah, that was in college. Like, I didn't get locked up. It wasn't even that." Um, like I always say, when you're in an argument with somebody, at the end of the day, all we really want to know is that the other person hears us, right? We're fighting to be heard, and we can't stop until we feel like that person heard us. Not that Hussein owes this to Rose, but I feel like he could have said, "You know what, Rose?" Because this is the thing, y'all. This is a reunion. Y'all watched the show. Y'all have had time to process. So on a reunion, I'm always hoping people can come with a fresh set of eyes, a fresh perspective. Nobody on this show came with a fresh perspective, y'all. Everybody was still dug in on everything. But I wish Hussein could have been like, you know what? Just looking back, I think I did act. Um, you know what? I haven't been doing my button.
Looking back, I think I did act a little quickly. We built a lot over time throughout the process, and I think I did let that scare me a little bit, and I did treat you wrong. And for that, I apologize. I should have met with you, sat with you. We could have talked it out. So I apologize for that.
I feel like maybe that's what he should have said, but he didn't, and he was still dug in that Rose was wrong, and Rose was still dug in that he was wrong. So we really didn't get anywhere with this conversation. Um, but like I said, and I didn't feel like Rose had let it go. I don't think either one of them had let it go by the end of this segment, but Tommy had to move on. Um, and then Tommy asked why Hussein self eliminated, and he said he didn't want Angie to feel like a second choice, which I don't think that's a good cover. All right, that was a good save, good save, good save. But I definitely think he didn't want Angie. He did not want Angie. Angie is a firecracker that he did not want. Okay. But that was a good save. See, I didn't want you to be number two. That's why. No, no. And Angie caught it too. Because she said that was the easy way out. Because she thought they had built something, and I agree as well. But like I said, it just goes to show that he was playing games and he never wanted Angie or Rose in the first place. Okay. So in the next segment, Tommy talks to True, and I forgot about her. And this we had to rehash this whole Google, they keep calling it a Google Doc, that's not the term. I forgot what it is, but the Google number and the fact that she would not give her age directly. Um, and so Truth says that that whole Google number was a made up storyline from Naeem and that he actually did have her real number. And she also didn't like that Khalil was asking the women's ages. Khalil's side is that he was asking her age because he doesn't want to have children right away and needed to know the woman's ages for childbearing purposes. Okay. Once again, it's been a while. I was hoping fresh perspectives. Nope, 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 nope. And nobody back down. True was still hot about that number. Naeem was still like, you was wrong for giving me that number. Khalil was still like, no, I had to ask you your age because I'm not trying to have kids right now. And I just need to know. So again, we didn't get anywhere with this conversation either. I did agree with Khalil. I did like that he was being honest and he wasn't wasting any of the women's time. So I can see it from that perspective. Like if I don't want to have kids till another 5 years and you're 35, that probably won't work out really well. So I could see what he was doing there, even though it is frowned upon to ask women their ages. I could see us being them being on this show, how that did make sense. And this was also like the most I ever heard Khalil talk. And that's like the most personality I had seen out of him. He was like, nah, let me talk because I was like, dang, Khalil, that's the most you ever talked, like on the whole season. Um, y'all, and I'm not trying to be funny. Again, I'm really not, and I'm not trying to be, ageist. But True looked really old on here, like, cause you gotta remember all these people are in their 30s, I feel like, and I was just like, "It's no way." Like, True, she looked like she was almost like 45. Well, am I the only one that thought that? And like I said, I got their ages. Let me just see. There's no way. No way True is younger than me. I don't believe that. It's saying True is 36. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Maybe it's just me, but maybe it was the hair, maybe it was the makeup. I don't know. But she just looked really older um on here. Okay. But anyway, so that was that. So after that, they played a game which we will skip over because there was no point. And then in the next segment, we talked to Fritz, and they wrote out the footage of how he was playing games, not taking the process serious, and how he was trying to get Sahara kicked off, and the whole thing about the polyamorous lifestyle. Fritz says he thought everybody was on the show to have fun. Okay, he didn't know this was serious. He thought this was a game show, like I've been saying. Um, and I clocked this early. I already said that he wasn't serious, like episode 2. And I just think maybe this is just me. I'm a really good discerner of people. And he exudes, don't get me wrong, it's good to have confidence in yourself, but he just thinks very highly of himself, like almost in an arrogant, full of himself type of way. Ugh. And again, no fresh perspective. He made no effort to apologize. It's like, I mean, I thought we was just all on here having fun. And Tommy was like, nah, dog, that's not what everybody else was up here doing. I can appreciate that perspective. Like he thinks he's smarter than everybody. It's really sickening. Um, so he got called out for trying to vote Sahara off, but honey, Shanice clocked in. Okay, and she said, "Not so. You will not talk to my man that way." Okay. So Shanice spoke up and defended him against Cam because remember during the show in the men's vault, um, evidently Fritz was like, "Yeah, we gotta vote Sahara off. Let's vote Sahara off." And Kim was like, "Dang, like, can you chill? Can we vote for ourselves?" So they brought this back up during the reunion, and Shanice just couldn't wait. I know she was holding on to this information, and she says that Kim was also playing games and that Kim was texting her because she was about to go to Spain or Italy or something. And Kim said, "Well, can I go and be your boy toy?" Um, yeah, I and also she says that her and Fritz kept talking after the show. Again, I don't ride for Cam, but I could absolutely see him just texting that just to be. funny, just talking type of thing. I don't think he was really serious. Like, oh yeah, I'm about to pack my bags and what time you leaving? Because I'm gonna get on the flight. I don't think it was that. I think he was just having small talk. Um, so I and it's just like Shanice, Fritz is not it, sis. But to each his own. I hope it works out. I just don't think he's a prize. Like I said, he just exudes arrogance to me. I'm the smartest in the room. I'm the most suave in the room, and it's just like I can't. I can't. I don't think he really likes her. I think this was a whole show thing. I think he might have even been stringing her along so that when they came to the reunion, he could say, "Ha ha, I had somebody, y'all." Um, I don't know, it just wasn't even given, like, that they were together. "Yeah, that's my woman." It's like and, like, she leaned in to hug him, he was just like, "Yeah," I don't know. Maybe they'll get married and live happy ever after, go for it, but I'm not seeing it. So then after that segment, Sahara questioned Cam about what Shanice was saying. All right. And Cam was trying to explain what happened. Um then out of nowhere, Angie comes flying around the corner and tells Cam, "You better keep your name out my mouth. That's all I'm saying." So she tells him that somebody told her that Cam isn't messing with her anymore because how aggressive she was to her ex. And that was I this whole thing was kind of disjointed. I was glad that they were giving us the so much behind the scenes. I'm glad they kept the come on production, clap it up. I give y'all a hard time, but I'm glad they did keep the cameras running throughout the breaks because that was like really where the tea and the drama was. So yeah, Kim is trying now he's trying to explain to Sahara about this bombshell Shanice has dropped. And he's like, nah, I wouldn't even like that because she twisted my words. And then here come Angie, like, yeah, you better keep your name out my mouth, your mouth, cause da 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 da. So then he gotta go track her down and like, what's your problem? And she says that somebody was telling her, which was Rose, um, that she's an aggressive person, and that's why Cam didn't want to be with her. Da, da, da. And then Cam was like, "Nah, Shotty, it ain't even like that. You know what I'm saying? That's not true at all." And she was like, "Okay." And it was given cold and hot. It was given night and day. It was given bipolar. Okay, I'm like, what? How 1 second you about to like punch him in the face, and then the next second he like, no, that's not true, and you're like, oh, okay, and y'all hug it out. Like I don't know what's going on. What was that? What was that? I, I don't know how you're that upset and angry with somebody, and all it takes for them to be like, "That's a lie," and you're like, "Okay, cool." Is that how it works? Like, I would have thought that she maybe would have went to Kim and said, "Hey, Kim, Rose or whoever was saying that da da da. Like, is that true?" Like Sahara did? Like after it was time for the break, she was like, about that thing Shanice was talking about. Like, what's that about? You know what I'm saying? I would have thought Angie would have did that, and then Kim would have been like, "No, that's not true." She'd be like, "Oh, okay, cool, cool, cool." But for you to be like on a 10 and then just like that, you're good again, and y'all were hugging in a matter of seconds. It's given unstable, which we've already said about Angie, and it's also given the communication skills are not there, like I told y'all, and that is a window into how her relationships probably go. Like I said, it's up and down. It's you never know like what she gonna be on. If she gonna be on 10 from 1 second to two to the next, it's probably real volatile. Um, yes. Okay. So then next we talk about Cam and Sahara. Sahara says she doesn't feel that Cam tried hard enough after the process was over. She also says that she blocked him and said he did try to meet up with her. So Cam said he did try to meet up with her, but he realized, but now he realizes he couldn't because he was blocked. Um, So, obviously, y'all know that Sahara chose herself. Thank goodness. Um, Kim also is not a prize. I told y'all that from episode 2. I think that like I always tell y'all, he's very, men do this, women do this. There's no gray area with him. And I think he would put you back into the 1960s real quick. And even in this process, as you can see, he always wants to have the upper hand. He wants to have the leverage. And he could have easily told Sahara that night when it was her and her sister. That was the person at that point. I think Rose was off the show. He knew he wasn't going to be with Angie because she was volatile. And so that was the perfect opportunity for him to, he could have came with some roses, some flowers. He could have really done it up and been like, look, what I mean, you've been riding with me, you my girl, you my number one. You always been my number one. He could have like threw in a little lie there, you know what I'm saying? But no, no, no. He wanted to make her wait. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what it's about with him. It's about the control and having the upper hand. And I got to make her wait till tomorrow to get my answer. And it backfired on him. So after the show, I guess maybe he was trying, but Sahara felt like he wasn't trying hard enough. And I kind of put myself in her shoes. I think we've all been in a situation where we've liked someone. Um, you like someone, but you don't feel like you're getting the reciprocal energy from them. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe you're texting, you're like you just want them to do more, and they're just not giving it. They're not giving it, and I think that's what Sahara was going through. And this is the thing, man. Like especially after you mess up, you gotta lay it on thick, okay? And I think she was wanting him to fight and like be at her doorstep and calling her and doing all the things, and he probably wasn't going that hard. And so I can see why she was already like, man, forget this, and just blocked him. Now Sahara, I don't know how you blocked him, but then was wondering why he wasn't texting you. So I don't know what was happening there. um but then we found out that he was also talking to Rose, okay? So then that explains why he probably wasn't going as hard with Sahara, because he was also trying to talk to Rose too, so it all made sense. So this is where it got good, y'all. So Rose clocked in again. All right, Rose is trying to ruin everybody's day. So he already told Kim about how Angie moved. She didn't spill the tea on Hussein going to jail 25 years ago, and now she says that just like Fritz is in a polyamorous lifestyle, so is Cam. And she said that Kim told her that he used to cheat a lot in his past, and he wants his woman that he is with currently, or whoever he's going to be with, to be open into bringing another woman into the bedroom. Okay, and we was like, say what? I had to rewind it. I was like, Rose, you came to work today, honey. Um, and it's just like, if you have a cheating history, I'm not going to think that I'm special enough that your cheating is going to stop with me. Okay. So I'm going to have to peace out. So I don't know what Rose was doing. As soon as I found out that information, that would have been all I needed to know. Okay. Um, yeah. Yeah, no. Mm-mm. Um, And it's like at least he's being honest this time around. I am glad that, and I'm hoping he's telling every woman that he's about to be with. Like, listen, I be cheating. I be cheating. Like, I need an open bedroom. I'm hoping he is telling women that. It sounds like that is what he's doing versus trying to act like he's going to be monogamous, and he's not. Okay. But at the same time, I'm like, why wasn't he forthcoming about that in this process? Because remember, we was mad at Rose now. We upset with Rose, but because she didn't tell us about her baby daddy and incarceration, all that. This was kind of a big thing for you not to share with the ladies as well. So it's almost like a double standard there. But Rose wasn't done. Rose said, I'm here. I'm here to work. I'm here to work, producers. So Rose said while she was over Cam's house and whatnot, she found a open condom wrapper and she said, um, now those wasn't the brand that we had. So they had to be from somebody else. So Rose says she felt played because he said he wasn't talking to anyone else. And then she dropped a cliffhanger that we'll have to see on the next part two, and wanted to know if he was expecting y'all. This was a lot. This was a lot to process. Everybody was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! Y'all having sex? You was over his house? What? Expecting?" It was a lot going on. So let's break this down a little bit. All right, ladies, I don't even know where to start. Um, First of all, Hussein and Cam had red flags all over the place. So again, I don't know what Rose was doing. I was yelling out every episode, like, no, no, they're not it. They're not a prize. I don't know why you're crying about these two men. I don't know why you're so upset. And I'm like, Rose, did you watch the show back? Like, did you watch the episodes like we had watched the episodes? Why are you on here crying? These men are not prizes. Like, what's going on here? So she came in with a lot of energy. I'm not sure why. All right. So then this is also why I always tell y'all to sit back and don't be thirsty for a man, okay? Remember I told y'all on one of the episodes when they was at their house, and one of the things they talked about was, do you test drive before you marry somebody? Like, should you test that out? Should you have sex so you can see if it's good or not? And they was like, "Oh yeah, you got to." And I told y'all that's a flawed way of thinking. Okay, you have 40, 50 years with this person. It's okay. Y'all can figure it out along the way. Okay, if it's that terrible. Um, but this is another reason why sex before marriage is can be tricky, because you end up looking like Rose, right? Jumped into the bed with a cam, which I don't know why she did that. But she's looking crazy on the show, crying, upset, emotionally distressed. He told her, "Oh yeah, I'm just talking to you." He wasn't. She's finding condom wrappers. She's upset. She's mad. It's a mess. It's a complete mess. Versus, Sahara and Angie, they just sitting over there chilling like, dang, that's crazy. You see what I'm saying? Rose got herself too wrapped up into Cam. And unfortunately, it sounds like she even had sex with him. Yikes. Okay. And this is what happens when you do that too quickly. That's why you can't just be sleeping around with any old body. This is why you can't be so thirsty for a man. This is why you can't be so thirsty for love. You'll end up in situations like this. Why are you over this man's house? He did not choose you on this process. He don't want you. He was about to choose Sahara. He was gonna choose Sahara, actually. So it's like, out of all the men in the world, like, why are you stuck on these two guys that are not it? Like, I don't know. I don't understand. And Rose seems like a really lovely woman, nice woman. I don't feel like she would have a hard time finding somebody, especially, after the exposure she's gotten on the show. You know what I'm saying? So I just hate that she felt the need that I gotta have somebody. I gotta have a man. Okay. Can I come over your house? I'm gonna sleep with you. It's just like, I hate that for her, and just how crazy it made her look on this reunion show too. She's bitter. She's mad. She's upset. She's crying, disheveled. It's just really sad. Um, Yeah, so that's pretty much what I had for that. And like I said, Hussein and Cam were never prizes ever. I said that from the beginning, and so I I don't know what Rose was saying. I'm like, did y'all see what I was saying? Like, did y'all watch the episodes? Did we watch them together? Did Rose watch them back? So I don't know. Like, it for me, if I was Rose and I hadn't had sex with Cam, I would have come on the show like, shoo, I dodged a bullet. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have come on here crying like, oh God, I missed out on the love of my life. It's like, no, no, Rose, no, you didn't. So I just think it's a combination. Like I said, that's what happens when you have sex too early. Now your emotions you can't see clearly. Your judgment's all clouded, and I think she might have had one too many drinks as well. And it's a bad look for Rose. I really wanted her to come in like dressed to the nines, and she looked amazing. You know, dressed to the nines, hair done, just sitting back, like, hey, y'all missed out. You see what I'm saying? She just it wasn't a good look for Rose. So, but I do want to know on episode 2 what she meant by is Kim expecting. And we already knew Kim was messy, y'all. That's why I'm shocked that she's shocked. Um, so Kim tried to portray like he's this upstanding guy, but no. So it seems like he's messing well, he was having sex with Rose while also trying to talk to Sahara, get back with her while also, I guess having sex with other women because she's finding condom wrappers and everything. But we'll see what his explanation is and if he can backpedal on out of that. You know what I'm saying? Nah, see, my homeboy was over here and he was using my bed, and so we'll see what he has to say. All right, y'all. So with that, one I thought this was it. They keep dragging this on. I told y'all the part 2 for the reunion is probably gonna come out in like Christmas or something because they're really trying their best to extend this thing. All right, the whole year, but we'll see. All right, so I will see y'all next Tuesday or Wednesday. Okay. All right, see ya.